Hello, hello, it's Fabienne. Welcome. I am very much looking forward to this conversation with Susan, who is here to inspire you in your business and have you see what's possible for yourself when you decide to play a bigger game in your business. Susan, before we dive in, would you describe your business just briefly, like a one sentence description of what you do?
Yeah, hi. Well, welcome. Thank you for having me here. I am Susan Verishai. I'm the founder of C Admissions, which is a MBA coaching business focused on helping um, us young professionals who are really ambitious to target top 20 business schools. So I coach
Amazing.
them.
Yeah, just amazing work that you're doing, and we're having a conversation because you jumped into the container Bolt Heart, the leveraged business program. What did you say? A couple of years ago now?
1 year. This is
What,
my
just 1 year? Yeah, amazing. And would you please tell us where you were before you jumped in? You tried a few of my programs, and each time that you tried, you got results. So you thought, you know what? I'm going to dive into the big program. But what wasn't working a year ago in your business that made you say, you know what, I need some help? Would you give us like a before scenario? What made you look for help?
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. I did start small in adding new pieces to my training. This is my first time running a business. I don't come from a family of entrepreneurs, so I didn't have really a support system that knew exactly how to coach me on how to do these things. And with your help, even getting to the six figures that I had gotten to a year ago, or a little bit over a year ago, that was really great. But I knew that I was becoming the bottleneck and had a really hard time moving the business to the next phase. I couldn't see myself doing anything more than what I was doing because I was working 7 days a week and just no time off. Like
Yeah.
once a year, I took a 3 day weekend and I felt so anxious the entire time because of that.
The
So
business. So why were you working 7 days a week? Why was it? Why were you experiencing anxiety even just taking 3 days off? Just because I really want to unpack what it's like for a woman in business who is at six figures and who needs a different approach. What was it like?
yeah, well, when you are the solopreneur, you are holding every single hat. So, at least I was. I don't know how other people do it, but for me, that's how my experience was. And that meant I was the marketer, I was the operations person, I was the one leading the clients. I wasn't like it was just every single role. And as such, everything takes time. And I didn't have a blueprint of anything. So I was building everything from zero. And of course, when I started this business, I did not know what I was getting myself into. So I didn't know that I should be building processes along the way. Everything was in my head, so it meant that it was just a lot of work all the time.
Yeah.
So
What
yeah,
were you working on evenings and weekends? You said 7 days a week, right? Evenings too.
evenings too. There were periods when I was like, okay, 8 p.m. I'm gonna like close my computer and I'll be fine, like going to bed. But then there are times when I would wake up at 3 in the morning to do work because I didn't get to do something and I was so tired and looking at a screen cross-eyed.
Yeah, yeah. How did this affect the other areas of your life and your relationships, and did it have a toll on other aspects of your life to be the bottleneck?
Yes, I have always been very ambitious person. Um, like everyone in my life knows that my professional world comes first. And that's just who I am as an individual. But this kind of took things to a whole different level, for sure. Like that ambition is like there's only so much you can do as a single entity, given that, we don't get extra time. We all get 24 hours.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
So, what is it that made you jump into the leveraged business program? And if you're watching this, Susan jumped into the program that's tied to the book, The Leveraged Business. What was it that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna do this for myself? You said you needed processes. What was it about the program that made you say, you know what, I'm gonna do this?
Yeah. I think for me, what really helped me was the fact that I had seen your work. I have experienced your work and I've seen the results in smaller scales because I was jumping into the smaller programs that you were offering over the years. And I knew that even though I didn't like, I had an idea that this is going to be very structured and we're going to get sort of steps along the way in building the sort of the back end of the business and sometimes even the marketing component of the business. So I knew that, but I wasn't exactly sure like where is it going to go because I hadn't walked this walk before.
Yeah.
Right. So when I joined, I also took a leap of faith in the sense that I had already decided that this is like, I've already seen that this is what you are able to do. And then I was like, okay, I'm ready for this. I have to take a leap of faith. I know it will work out. And I'm so happy I did.
It's happened to me before that I've had to take big leaps of faith where maybe my mind was screaming like, no, there's so much uncertainty. But my heart was saying, and my intuition was saying, you know what, if you stay at this pace, trying to figure it out on your own, it's going to actually be more painful than jumping into something that has the potential to change everything. So I actually think this is normal to have this internal struggle and say like, oh my gosh, it's going to take a leap of faith, but I'm going to do it anyway. What's happened in the last year so far, understanding that, you know, this is just a point in time and things are going to get even better because the best is yet to come. What's happened in just a year, Susan? Would you share?
Absolutely. It has been a lot of work, to be very frank, in this process. I saw where I was going wrong in the sense of like, I have a tendency of saying things like right or wrong, but I know that there's always this gray space that we all live in. But I recognize where the areas were that I needed to really develop my business, have
Yeah.
process.
What were those areas for you? It's different for everybody.
Yeah, for me, it was, operational like templates that I needed to build, provide more guidance to clients. So writing those materials, it was even in the sales process. Your work has been amazing in that front. And even in the way I present my work. So I feel like the work has really moved in various different phases. And also the hiring process has definitely transformed through this program.
Let's talk about that. You were alone, mostly in your business, and just the thought of hiring. Most people don't know what they don't know about hiring world-class people that in an affordable way. What's it done for your business?
It really changed. Well, first I had to accept the fact that I need to let go.
Yeah, it's so hard.
That's hard. That's really hard. For an A-type personality, it's very, very hard. And that also forced me to build those templates with your guidance and showing me how things can actually work out. I think that was really great. And then I said, okay, if I build the templates, I coach them along the way, I know that this can be done more effectively, and I don't need to be that bottleneck in that process. So when I was hiring people, you have this amazing process around, thinking about hiring. First and foremost, looking at what you are responsible for, right, as an individual, and then looking at what you are not really good at, but you're trying to force yourself to be good at.
It's like denial. Like, I will be good at this. No, you'll never be good at that.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then just things that you have zero interest in, right?
Yeah.
Like you just don't want to do. Like there are so many more interesting things to be doing than to be doing marketing. That's for me my area that I don't really care that much about, but I know the importance of it. So I still do it, but I have supports around the things that I don't find as interesting in the marketing process. So
Mm.
then when I was hiring people, I was looking for the things that I need in the business and what the culture that I wanted to build. So you guys coached me on that front, testing and all sorts of different things to make sure that you are high. It's a phrase that you use that I really love: hire slow and fire fast.
Yeah.
Um, and,
We usually do the opposite.
what was it? Hire. We
Yeah.
do the yeah.
Typically, before we typically entrepreneurs just hire really, really quickly, and they take forever to lovingly release somebody back into the workforce, right?
Yeah.
And the approach here is to be super strategic about getting the world class help that you need.
Yeah. And I think that's an important thing that I really love about your methodology of how you go about things is that you are really helping us dive deeper into the work, not just superficial. Here's this template and go do it, but it's really diving deeper into the work and making customizing it really to our own experiences and our own businesses.
Yeah,
That
I think it's a really other programs I've seen do things really superficially, and then you wonder why it doesn't work, right? So this is 23 years of me slicing and dicing all of this and doing all of it myself, and vetted by thousands and thousands of women who've gotten to multiple six figures and seven figures because of it. So it works because it's deep, like what you said, right?
yeah, yeah. Yeah, I think that's when we get to really experience also personal transformation, which is one of the things that I really love about my journey with you. There's a lot of personal growth that has happened through the process of building my business. And now I talk about how much I've grown personally from my business, more so than the success of the business that I think about, and just the individual transformation that has happened.
People don't realize how massively important it is to transform on the inside as you're transforming your business. And I'll explain for those who are new to this concept. The person you are at a certain point is not the person who's going to get to multiple six or seven figures. You actually have to transform on the inside. And what I mean by that is the your identity drives behavior, right? You've heard me say that. So your identity, how you see yourself, your beliefs, your fears, your self-image all dictate how you take action in the world. And if you want to take different action to get different results, you have to look at your subconscious, you have to look at your mindset and all of that. And once that is tweaked, you then become the person who creates the seven figure business or the transformation that you look at. And I think that this mindset first methodology that we put, that we give you guys as like a bonus on top of the strategy and the accountability and all that good stuff, that's actually the thing, that's the secret sauce, the fairy dust that creates all of the results. But people don't usually think that that's what they need in the beginning. And you really embrace that. And I just remember, on the Q&A calls, just you showing up and being like, okay, help me with this.
Yeah.
And that courage, that bold heart that you have is a testament to why you're creating great results in the program.
Thank you.
So you've done work on your systems, your processes, your operations, the way that you deliver your work with the clients, your team,
Mm-hmm.
your marketing, your personal growth. What else has shifted? And then would you also share what results have you gotten so far in the program?
Yeah, so I think this kind of goes somewhat in line with the mindset shift that happened, because I think from my experience, there's a lot of resistance that happens as you are going through this process of transforming. If, I mean, you say this so often, if you are doing the same thing, there's not going to be, I'm paraphrasing, of course, but like there's not going to be just enough time to make this to multiple six figures, reach the seven figure marks, right? So you need to change. You need to change how you think about the business and how you think on delivering the business and delivering the value. So one of the transformational moments that happened actually at the end of last year, and I started implementing it this year, and I'm definitely seeing a huge shift on my front, and also like people actually accepting it, is looking at how I can deliver more value to clients, but also making it in a way that saves me time.
Yeah.
Right.
It's what we call doing less better, right? And to grow, to scale your business, and even to get your clients better results, you actually have to work less. And that's the counterintuitive piece that people don't get.
Exactly. Because if you're constantly working, I know, like when I have, working 7 days a week, your mind is just, tired at the end of the day. It can't process information anymore, that I'm still in the process of making those changes, and it's still early on. So, I can't speak to the results yet, but I am seeing that people are actually, clients are really excited about those opportunities that I have opened up more as a collective, community focused kind of approach. And since I've been in the Bold Hard Leverage program, I have had very early on already full rosters of clients. So I do one-on-one coaching, so it's a little bit, different on the capacity of what one can have. So this is the changes that are happening are really great. And I was already at multiple six figures, and I was able to increase my sales by 50% since I joined.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
That has been really tremendous transformation so far. And I know that there's more to come, and I'm only on year one.
Yeah. Does a 50% increase. Most people in 1 year, if they're shooting for bigger, they make about 5 to 10% increase. To have a 50% increase is massive in terms of not just revenue, but also confidence.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that has changed. Absolutely changed my confidence. I work with MBA applicants, so people who are going to masters in business administration, and I always tell them, I see your transformation. Once you get that one offer, you already showing up as a different person. So
yeah.
I feel the same way here in being able to do these things. It has changed also how I show up in my meeting with my clients, in my meetings with my prospects, and every part of the business.
What else has changed other than the 50% increase in revenues in just 1 year? What else has changed for how your life, where you're going? Like, how is this making a positive impact on different areas?
Yeah. I will say that I'm still in the process of making the changes, but I'm finding myself really excited about the changes that are happening. So, I also get very bored if I do the same thing over and over again. That's my personality, and all these, new opportunities that this program has just allowed me to see, has me already excited about all of the things that we can do, and also the impact that we can have on people's lives as we continue to provide just more support to and impact more applicants that are going through the journey of their MBA, through that really transformative journey. I also find that just how I show up, the changes have been tremendous, and also the kinds of conversations I have with people has also changed. I find myself much more confident and also a little bit more selective in the kind of conversations I want to have. And one can see that as positive or negative, depending on sort of the lens through which you're coming at. But when you are on a mission and have a vision for where you're looking to go, you are. I find that I'm not that interested in things that are not moving the needle in the direction that I'm going.
If you remember some of the things we talk about in leverage, is again about doing less better, but really focusing on things that are producing
Mm-hmm.
results and outcomes, where applying the 80-20 rule, 80% of what most people do aren't producing, those things aren't producing results. And if we can be strategic and determine what the 20% or the 2 hours out of a 10-hour day that
Mm-hmm.
produces the results, and using your words, move the needle, it changes
Mm-hmm.
everything, because we get our life back, we get better results, and everything starts to change.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's for someone who's not who's listening today but not in the program yet, and they don't understand yet a day in the life of a Bold Heart business member, what are the aspects of the program that you feel are helping you the most? There, as we always say, it's a big buffet at Bold Heart. There's like so many support systems, accountability in the pod, and the Q&A with me every single week, and the activators and all of the things. What are the aspects that you feel are helping you really create these exponential results?
Yeah,
What's your best support within this container?
absolutely. So I love the Q and A's. Sometimes I don't have a question that I come in with, but I actually learn from the community
Yeah.
about what are some of the problems that other people are experiencing. And then I start thinking about, okay, this is going to be me in X amount of time. How can I already preemptively start doing these things to make sure that I'm setting myself up for success in the future? And some ideas have come that I've implemented in my business have come from those conversations, because I was able to see, oh, this can actually be applicable to my business in this particular way. So that has been really tremendously beneficial community there. I also definitely take advantage of the accountability buddies, as we call them here in the Bold Heart community. I have two. I meet with them once a week. So we have different kinds of conversations. And I love the emails that I receive every single day. What are you working on? Right? What are you working on today? And it's just a reminder that you are moving in the direction that you have set out for yourself. Right?
Yeah, it's like these focusing mechanisms, because when we can understand that most of us entrepreneurs are wired to initiate things, right? The word entrepreneur comes from the verb entreprendre, which means to initiate, but we're
Mhm.
also not wired to finish things. When we have these focusing mechanisms that feel good, that are lovely, when we're in a community doing things with other people, when we have access to resources, never more than 6 days away from the answer,
Yeah.
the strategic answer that we want, that we need, it just helps us move so much faster than we would on our own.
Absolutely, yeah. And then the other thing that I really, really love is we call them here in the Bold Heart community the implementation sessions, which is focused sprints that you're working on things that you have set out to or committed to doing in the next 30 days or however the time frame looks like. I just feel that I get so much done in those sessions that it's just such an amazing thing that you guys have implemented for the community. And I think if you, there's definitely a lot that is offered in the program. Um, Sometimes more than one can actually take advantage of.
Yeah, it's a buffet. You're not going to eat everything on the buffet, but it's like you have a choice based on how you're wired and what you need.
Exactly, exactly. But I think that the one, like, coming in the program, being fully committed to taking action, I think is just going to make such a transformative journey for the ones who are particularly considering but haven't made that jump yet. It's obviously no one is going to do the work for you, but if you're taking this information and you're applying it to your business, are open-minded in the sense of going through the process, right? Sometimes letting go of our ego as of, I used to do things this way, it doesn't work for my business. Just letting go of that and just playing along, go with the exercises. You will transform even in just one of those exercises, and let alone if you take advantage of everything.
Yeah, it's so true. It's a different way of thinking. A lot of people are looking to get to multiple 6 and 7 figures, but they're not coaching with somebody I've been at multiple 7 figures for 15 years now. And there's just a way that most people don't know what they don't know about how to get to 7 figures and also have a delicious life at the same time, right? This is not about getting to a certain financial revenue goal for your business and then having no life. It's the opposite. And I don't think you can read about that from books. I think I know you need to work with someone if you can find a way to work with someone who can show you the ins and outs, who can see around the corner for you, who can give best practices. It changes everything. I really believe in investing in myself because I too don't know what I don't know about certain things. And I just really want to celebrate you, Susan, for showing up, right? You show up on almost all the Q&A calls. Whether you have a question or not, you are diligent about being there, following the recipe, and you're only in year one. And what you've created is already extraordinary, super inspiring. What do you think is possible? Understanding that you're just at the beginning now and there's more to come. What do you think is possible for you in 2 to 3 years with your business in terms of revenues or expansion? What's future pace?
Absolutely. So I'm already in the process of thinking about expansion and taking action on the expansion process. So in 2 to 3 years, I definitely think that I'll be at the 7-figure mark, if not more than. So definitely, this has been such a transformative thing as experience, and I do think that sky's the limit.
Yeah, and I'm really glad that you shared that because, as you know, one of the things we do here is we normalize women being at 1 million. And if you think about it, 100 years ago, even, maybe 50 years ago, it wasn't a thing. Like, women didn't even really have their own business, let alone talking about being at 7 figures. And that's not just 7 figures one time. That's 7 figures every year. So if you think about your career being self-employed, you're going to be in business for how many more years? You tell me, how many years?
I find it very hard. I mean, you never know what life throws at you, but it's hard to see myself as someone who would go back to corporate jobs. So whether I'm doing this or something else, I foresee myself doing this for the rest of my life.
Yeah, so like 20, 25 years, we're talking, so you'll reach the 7 figures in 2 to 3 years. And then it's 7 figures at least a year for another 20 to 25 years. So I bring this up because it's not about just reaching 7 figures 1 year. Yeah. You can't unlearn all of the strategies and the mindset and the shifts in identity that you learn here. You keep that knowledge for the rest of your life, and the results just compound. So I think that's something that we tend to forget when we invest in ourselves, that if it's $1 million a year for 25 years, that's a minimum of 25 million in one's lifetime for an investment. I like to look at my investments like that because it's not just like a one-time thing.
Yes.
Um, what would be your piece of advice to a woman who's where you were before, overwhelmed, working 7 days a week, not being able to take a 3 day, once a year vacation without feeling anxious, and she's dancing around this program and she's like, should I, shouldn't I? This feels like a leap of faith. What if it doesn't work? What if I, what from your experience and being in the community and seeing all these other women who are creating similar results that you are, what would you like to tell this woman who's dancing around this program, wondering whether to do it or not?
Yeah. I would say to someone who's going through that process to first really evaluate if you are willing to commit to doing the work yourself. If the answer is yes, then absolutely join the community. I think it's an amazing supportive community on all fronts, not just the Bold Heart team itself, so Fabienne and Derek and everyone else, but also the community of women that are here supporting one another. I've had so many just supports around different things that I was struggling with. And the community already had resources that they were able to recommend to me, amazing resources at that. So I feel that, in order for you to get to where you want to go, you need to be in the community of people who are already doing the same things that you are doing, or understand where you are and what you're going through, the ups and downs of entrepreneurships, because there are a lot of those. um,
Life, right? Yeah.
exactly. And then I do think that if you are looking for someone to help you make the process a little bit easier on yourself, so you can really be of more impact to the communities that you are serving, I think this is the place to be in.
Mm. Thank you for sharing your inspiring story, Susan. And you're just on step one, and there's more to come. I look forward to having another conversation with you down the road and seeing what else has transpired for you and what new insights you've had that you can share. Thank you for sharing about the power of systems and processes and operations and team and really like the getting that support and accountability and implementation help. This is something that not enough women know about. And that if they had access to it, they would transform their business. And I just really appreciate you for showing up, working the recipe, and sharing your nuggets here today.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you
you.
for creating this community, because it is such a transformative space for women, particularly.
Yeah. Thanks, Susan. Thanks, everybody, for being here. I hope this has inspired you. We'll talk to you next time.